The Shimmering Isles. A few days after the Enchanted Festival, Tobian and Nivara found themselves aboard a small enchanted boat, sailing through the mystical waters of the Shimmering Isles. The ocean here glittered like molten silver, and the air was thick with the scent of salt and ancient magic. Their destination was an island rumored to house the Tidecaller's Pearl, a legendary artifact said to control the rise and fall of the tides. For this new adventure, Nivara had transformed into the spirit of the shimmering sea. Her hair cascaded in waves of silvery blue, resembling the rolling ocean. Her eyes were a deep, stormy grey, mirroring the swirling depths beneath the boat. Her skin shimmered with the soft glow of moonlight reflecting off the sea, and her gown flowed like liquid silk, rippling with each step as if made from the very water around her. Tobian, enchanted by her new appearance, sketched furiously as the boat sailed. "I've never seen anything like this," he said, his voice full of admiration. "You look like you're part of the sea itself." Nivara smiled, gazing out over the horizon. "The ocean has a way of calling to me. I can feel the pull of the tides, the whispers of ancient magic below." Their small boat glided effortless through the water, enchanted by Tobian's magic to follow the current toward the hidden island. Around them, the shimmering isles seemed to move, their shapes ever changing in the mist. Legends told of islands that appeared and disappeared with the tides, only visible to those who knew how to look. As they sailed closer to their destination, the water grew calm, but an eerie silence fell over the sea. The once shimmering waters darkened, and the sky above turned an unsettling shade of grey. "We're nearing the island," Nivara said softly, her eyes scanning the horizon. "The magic here is strong, but something feels off." Tobian set down his sketchbook and looked ahead. In the distance, a jagged, mist-covered island rose out of the water, its shoreline dotted with towering black stones. At the heart of the island was a massive, swirling whirlpool, its dark waters churning violently. "The whirlpool," Tobian murmured. "That's where the Tidecaller's Pearl is hidden." Nivara nodded. "But it won't be easy to retrieve. The island is guarded." As they neared the shore, the water beneath their boat began to stir, and dark shapes moved just below the surface. Before Tobian could react, a series of massive, serpent-like creatures erupted from the water, their scales glistening in the dim light. These were the tide serpents, ancient guardians of the pearl. "We're not alone," Nivara warned, her form shimmering as she prepared for whatever challenge lay ahead. "I'll distract them while you make for the whirlpool." Tobian's heart raced, but he nodded. He had faith in Nivara's abilities. She had faced many challenges before, and her current form made her attuned to the sea's magic. With a graceful leap, Nivara dove into the water, her body flowing like a wave as she approached the serpents. The creatures hissed and snapped, but Nivara moved with the agility of the sea, guiding their attention away from the boat. Her gown of liquid silk shimmered beneath the water, catching the serpent's eyes. Meanwhile, Tobian steered the boat closer to the whirlpool, his wand in hand. The swirling vortex was fierce, but he knew that the only way to retrieve the pearl was to navigate its depths. With a deep breath, he cast a spell to calm the surrounding waters, creating a brief opening in the whirlpool. He quickly dove into the swirling waters, feeling the powerful pull of the whirlpool as he descended. The deeper he went, the darker it became, and soon the light above him vanished, replaced by an eerie glow from the depths. At the very heart of the whirlpool, resting on a bed of glowing coral, was the Tidecaller's Pearl. The pearl was enormous, radiating a soft blue light that pulsed in time with the rhythm of the ocean. Tobian reached out, his fingers brushing the surface, and as he touched it, the pearl responded. It glowed brighter, and Tobian felt the pull of ancient tides, as if the ocean itself acknowledged his presence. With a swift motion, he took the pearl in hand and began his ascent. The whirlpool's current fought against him, but Tobian's magic held strong. He broke through the surface just as Nivara re-emerged from the water, her hair trailing silver streams behind her. "I see you found it," she said with a smile, her voice carrying a soft echo of the sea. The serpents had retreated, allowing them to leave the island unharmed. Tobian held up the Tidecaller's pearl, its glow reflecting in his eyes. "It's beautiful," he said. "And powerful. I can feel the ocean's heartbeat in it." Nivara's gaze softened as she looked at the pearl. "It's more than just a treasure. It's a link to the ancient magic of the sea. We'll have to be careful with it." They climbed back into the boat, which resumed its steady course away from the island. As they sailed back into the open sea, the waters returned to their shimmering beauty, and the sky cleared once more. Tobian couldn't resist pulling out his sketchbook again. "I need to capture this moment," he said, beginning a new drawing of Nivara, her form glowing with the magic of the sea, the Tidecaller's pearl resting in her hands. Nivara chuckled, shaking her head playfully. "Always the artist." As Tobian sketched, the pearl hummed softly in Nivara's lap, its magic resonating with the sea and sky around them. The shimmering isles faded into the distance, but their next destination lay just beyond the horizon. "What do you think our next adventure will bring?" Nivara asked, her voice filled with wonder. Tobian smiled, his eyes twinkling with anticipation. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together. And I'll make sure to capture every moment." With the Tidecaller's pearl safely in their possession and the promise of more adventures ahead, they sailed onward, their hearts light and their bond stronger than ever. And so, their journey continued, each adventure unfolding like the pages of a storybook, with magic, art, and love guiding their way. The Whispering Forest. The morning sun filtered through a delicate canopy of leaves as Tobian and Nivara approached the edge of the Whispering Forest. This ancient woodland was a place of legend, said to be alive with the spirits of nature and filled with magic that predated even the oldest of wizards. For this new adventure, Nivara transformed into the spirit of the forest. Her hair cascaded down her back in waves of deep emerald green, interwoven with vines and tiny blooming flowers. Her eyes glowed with the golden light of the sun peeking through the trees, and her skin had a warm, earthy hue, adorned with delicate patterns resembling leaf veins. Her gown was made of layers of translucent leaves and petals, rustling softly with every movement, blending seamlessly with the forest around her. Tobian watched her in awe as she seemed to merge with the environment. "You look as if you were born from the heart of the forest itself," he said, his fingers itching to capture her new form on his canvas. Nivara smiled softly. "The forest is alive, Tobian. I can feel its heartbeat, its whispers. It tells me stories of the old times, of magic long forgotten." They ventured deeper into the forest, where the air was thick with the scent of pine and moss, and the sounds of rustling leaves and distant animal calls surrounded them. The path was dappled with sunlight, and occasionally, small creatures would peek out from behind trees to catch a glimpse of the travelers. "Our quest today," Nivara began, her voice barely above a whisper, "is to find the Luminara blossom. It blooms once every century and is said to hold the purest essence of nature's magic." Tobian nodded, his eyes scanning the surroundings. "Legend has it that whoever possesses the blossom can heal any wound and purify any curse." As they walked, Tobian couldn't help but sketch the vibrant life around them, the towering trees, the intricate patterns of the leaves, and of course, Nivara in her forest guise. His sketches seemed to glow with a life of their own, infused with the magic of the place. Hours passed as they navigated the labyrinthine paths of the forest. The deeper they went, the more the forest seemed to come alive. The trees whispered secrets, and the wind carried echoes of ancient songs. Suddenly, they came upon a clearing bathed in an ethereal light. In the center stood a single flower, the Luminara blossom. It glowed with a soft, golden light, its petals shimmering like liquid sunlight. Nivara approached it reverently. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined," she breathed. But as she reached out to touch it, the ground trembled, and a guardian emerged from the shadows, a towering being made of intertwined branches and leaves, its eyes glowing with the wisdom of ages. It was the forest sentinel. "Who dares disturb the sacred blossom?" The sentinel's voice echoed like the rustling of 1,000 leaves. Tobian stepped forward respectfully. "We are travelers seeking the Luminara blossom, not for selfish gain, but to protect and preserve its magic." The sentinel regarded them silently for a moment. "Many have sought the blossom for power. How are you any different?" Nivara met the sentinel's gaze. "I am a child of the forest," she said, her form shimmering with natural energy. "We wish to safeguard the blossom's magic from those who would misuse it." The sentinel tilted its head, considering her words. "Prove your worthiness. If you can pass the trial of hearts, the blossom shall be yours." "What's the trial?" Tobian asked. "A test of purity and intent," the sentinel replied. "You must navigate the maze of reflection, where your true selves will be revealed." Without hesitation, Tobian and Nivara agreed. The sentinel gestured, and the landscape around them shifted. Trees rearranged themselves to form a complex maze. They entered the maze together, and immediately, they were separated by walls of vines and branches. Alone, Tobian walked down a path that led to a mirror-like pool of water. As he gazed into it, he saw reflections of his past, the joy of creating art, but also moments of doubt and fear. Images of times he had hesitated to use his magic, afraid of failure. "Am I truly worthy of wielding such magic?" he wondered aloud. From the depths of the pool, his own reflection spoke. "Your art brings life and hope. Your magic heals and inspires. Do not let fear overshadow your light." Meanwhile, Nivara faced her own reflection amidst the trees. She saw herself shifting forms endlessly, struggling to find her true identity. "Who am I, truly?" she asked. A voice like the rustling leaves answered, "You are all and none. Your strength lies in your ability to adapt and embrace change. Your true self is the harmony you bring to the world." Reassured, both Tobian and Nivara found their way through the maze, emerging back into the clearing together. The sentinel awaited them. "You have faced your inner selves and emerged with clarity," it said. "You are worthy." Nivara gently picked the Luminara blossom. As she held it, a warm light enveloped them, and the forest around them seemed to sigh with contentment. Tobian quickly captured the moment on his canvas, the glow of the blossom, Nivara's serene expression, and the sentinel standing guard. "Thank you," Tobian said to the sentinel. "Use its magic wisely," the sentinel advised before melding back into the forest. As they made their way out of the forest, the sun began to set, casting a golden glow through the trees. The whispers of the forest seemed to bid them farewell. Back at the edge of the forest, Nivara's appearance began to change once more. Her hair returned to its usual flowing locks, this time taking on the hues of the sunset, fiery reds, oranges, and pinks. Her eyes shimmered like the twilight sky, and her attire transformed into a dress that seemed woven from the very fabric of dusk. Another transformation? Tobian asked with a smile. Nivara laughed softly. The magic of the blossom seems to inspire change. Besides, a new adventure awaits us, and I must be ready. Tobian wrapped his arm around her. Where to next? She looked toward the horizon where the first stars began to twinkle. I've heard tales of the celestial spire, a place where the veil between our world and the stars is thinnest. Perhaps we'll find our next journey there. Then let's not waste any time, Tobian agreed, his eyes reflecting the excitement of new possibilities. Together, they set off toward the fading light, eager for the adventures that awaited them under the night sky. Their journey was a tapestry of magic and wonder, each thread woven with the experiences they shared and the love that bound them. And as the first nightingale sang its evening song, Tobian knew that with Nivara by his side, every new chapter of their lives would be more extraordinary than the last. The celestial spire. The night sky stretched out like a vast ocean of stars as Tobian and Nivara approached the celestial spire, a towering peak that seemed to touch the heavens. Legend spoke of this place as a bridge between the mortal realm and the stars themselves, where the fabric of reality thinned, and the magic of the cosmos could be felt in every breath. As they reached the base of the mountain, Nivara began to change once more. This time, she transformed into the spirit of the stars. Her hair shimmered like a cascade of silver stardust, each strand twinkling with its own light. Her eyes became pools of the deepest midnight, reflecting the constellations above. Her skin glowed softly, kissed by moonlight, and her gown was a flowing swirl of midnight blue and silver, adorned with tiny, glowing stars. She radiated an aura of ethereal grace, as if she were a part of the night sky itself. Tobian couldn't take his eyes off her. You're breathtaking, Nivara. You look like you've stepped out of the heavens. Nivara smiled, her voice soft like the whisper of starlight. I can feel the pull of the stars here, Tobian. There's something ancient and powerful waiting for us at the top of the spire. Together, they began the ascent. The path was steep and treacherous, with jagged rocks and narrow ledges, but the stars above seemed to light their way. As they climbed higher, the air grew thin, and the world below became a distant memory. The sky seemed to grow closer with every step, and the stars pulsed with a rhythm that matched their footsteps. After hours of climbing, they reached a plateau near the summit. In the center of the plateau stood an ancient, shimmering stone archway, the Gateway of Stars. It glowed with a soft, celestial light, and strange, swirling runes decorated its surface. Nivara stepped closer, her gaze fixed on the archway. This is the portal between worlds. It's said that only those who can harmonize with the stars can pass through and glimpse the secrets of the universe. Tobian, ever the artist, pulled out his sketchbook and began to capture the glowing runes and the majesty of the scene. If we're to pass through, we need to understand how it works. Nivara nodded, her eyes glowing with the knowledge she had gained from the stars. The runes tell of a celestial melody, a song that resonates with the very fabric of the cosmos. To unlock the gateway, we must attune ourselves to this melody. Tobian looked at her curiously. A melody. How do we hear it? Nivara closed her eyes, her starry form shimmering as she raised her hands to the sky. We don't just hear it, Tobian. We feel it. The stars sing to us, and we must let their song guide us. Tobian followed her lead, closing his eyes and opening his senses to the world around him. At first, there was silence. Then, slowly, he began to hear it, a faint, otherworldly music, like the soft hum of the stars themselves. It was a sound that defied words, a harmony of light and energy that resonated deep within his soul. As the melody grew louder, Tobian felt his magic stir, responding to the song. He opened his eyes to see Nivara moving gracefully, as if she were dancing to the rhythm of the stars. Her every movement sent ripples of starlight through the air, and the runes on the archway began to glow brighter. Inspired, Tobian raised his staff and let his magic flow, weaving patterns of light and shadow that danced in time with Nivara's movements. Together, they became part of the celestial melody, their magic harmonizing with the stars. The gateway of stars responded. The runes shimmered with a radiant light, and the archway began to pulse with cosmic energy. With a final flourish, Nivara spun gracefully, her hands outstretched toward the portal. The gateway opened with a burst of starlight, revealing a swirling expanse of the cosmos beyond. Nebulas and galaxies spun in the distance, and the air was filled with the music of the universe. Tobian and Nivara stood in awe, their hearts beating in time with the stars. "We did it," Tobian whispered, his voice filled with wonder. Nivara turned to him, her eyes sparkling like distant constellations. "The stars have accepted us, Tobian. Beyond this gateway lies the celestial realm, a place of endless magic and wonder." They stepped through the portal, and immediately, they were enveloped in the infinite beauty of the cosmos. They floated weightlessly among the stars, their bodies glowing with the same ethereal light as the celestial bodies around them. Planets, comets, and meteor showers passed by in dazzling displays of cosmic energy. But as they drifted through the starry expanse, they sensed a presence watching them. Ahead, a massive, shimmering figure emerged from the stardust, a being made entirely of starlight, its form shifting and pulsating with cosmic power. "I am the Star Guardian," the figure intoned, its voice resonating through the void like the echo of 1,000 galaxies. "You have entered the realm of the stars. What is it you seek?" Nivara floated forward, her starlit form glowing in response. "We seek knowledge and understanding. We wish to learn the secrets of the universe and to protect the magic that flows through all things." The Star Guardian regarded them silently for a moment, its glowing eyes piercing through the infinite void. "Knowledge is not given lightly. You must prove yourselves worthy by passing the trial of the celestial balance. Only then will you earn the wisdom of the stars." Tobian and Nivara exchanged a glance. "What is this trial?" Tobian asked. "The universe is a delicate balance of light and darkness, creation and destruction," the Star Guardian explained. "To pass the trial, you must demonstrate your ability to maintain this balance. You will be tested in ways that challenge both your magic and your spirit." Tobian nodded, determination in his eyes. "We accept the trial." The Star Guardian extended its hand, and the stars around them shifted, creating a vast arena of light and shadow. Tobian and Nivara found themselves standing on a floating platform, with swirling galaxies above and below them. "The trial begins now," the Star Guardian declared, and the stars around them began to tremble with power. Nivara's form glowed brighter as she prepared for the challenge ahead. "Whatever this trial brings, we'll face it together, Tobian." Tobian gripped his staff, his magic already flowing in tune with the celestial melody. "Together, always." And so, under the watchful eyes of the stars, their next great adventure began. The celestial trial awaited, filled with challenges that would push their magic, and their bond, to new heights.